Hello, in this video we'll start learning HTML. First, I'll show you a shortcut to create the structure for a web page. For this we need to write HTML. We need to write this shortcut in Visual Studio Code, and we need to choose the second option. Here we have the structure for a web page. Now we can write the HTML code in the body tag. So HTML contains some tags where we can add the hypertext markup language, the HTML. So now we want to write a text with each letter on a new row, and each letter needs to start from the first row to the end row, and each letter needs to have a different letter. For this we can use H tags. So I'll use H1 for the first letter, so the word will be HTML. So HTML is awesome. So I'll write H. After that I'll write H2 and I'll put T. After that I'll write H3 and I'll put M. On the next row I'll write H4 and I'll put L. We can have just 6 headings in HTML from H1 to H6. So I want to write HTML is awesome. So I'll write H5 and the last will be H6. Sorry. So I wrote HTML is awesome. In HTML we have headings from H1 to H6, and starting from H1 the text will be smaller. So H1 will be the bigger text and H6 will be the smaller text. Now let's test in the browser. For this, in Visual Studio Code we have an extension. I cannot see this extension here. The name for the extension is Live Server. So I'll click here. I'll open this page with Live Server. And when I click here, the web page is opened and we have the text that we added in the HTML file. Another tag in HTML is P. It is used for paragraphs. So P, and if you want to add a text with bold, we can add the tag strong. Here, for example, I'll add a title. So the title will be movies. And now I want to add a list. I want to add a ordered list. For this, I'll add OL tag, and inside it I'll add the list items. So I'll add two movies, for example, Narcos and Fauda. And I want the type for the list to be numbers. Here, if I put 1, the list type will be with numbers, and if I put a letter, the list type will be with letters. Now let's test this in the browser. I'll refresh this page, and we can see here the paragraph in bold because I added the strong tag, and my ordered list, and my ordered list contains numbers. If I add here A, for example, the list will contain letters. Now I'll add another paragraph, and inside it I'll put countries. And here I'll add an order list. For this, I'll use the UL tag. And like in the ordered list, inside it I'll have LE elements. Okay, and I'll add some countries. So I'll add UK, also Spain and Romania. Now let's test. And here we can see that we have the paragraph with a strong text, and we have the list with the unordered list with these two countries added here. Okay. Now let's in HTML we can add lines. For example, if I add the tag HR, I'll add an horizontal line. For this line, I can add a width with 50% and a line left. Also, let's add here another H1 with the text HTML. And here, let's add another paragraph with the text hypertext markup language. Let's see how our page looks now. So we can see the H1 with this title, we can see the horizontal line with 15%, and also we can see the paragraph. Okay, now let's let's add image. In HTML we can add images. So let's search on Google image. I'll search for so Google it's not working. Okay, let's create a table if we don't have images. So for tables we need to use the table tag. For tables we can add attributes like border, for lines we have tier, and for cells we have td. Let's add 3 cells in this row, and let's add another 2 rows. Okay, we can use the style attribute to add a border, a color, and we can also specify the width for the border. So we can use the style attribute, and here we can add the border property, and here we can say that the border will be 1 pixel solid and the color will be black. We will copy this attribute for all rows, for all cells from our table. Okay, and now let's add the content for our cells. So let's add numbers. I'll add here 1, here 2, here 3. Let's delete the third cell from the second and from the third row. Okay, and let's use row span for this row, for this cell. So row span 2 for this cell to be on 2 lines. Okay, and let's use also the call span attribute here. For this cell I'll add call span 2. So row span is used for cells to be on 2 rows, and call span is also used for cells to be on 2 columns. Okay, now let's test our page, and I'll go here and I'll refresh my HTML page. Oh, here I need to add the content for my table. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so here we can see that the third cell from first line will be with row span 2, and also here we can see that from third line our first cell will be with col span 2. So this column will be on, so this cell will be on 2 columns.